Hey the internet, this is Luck. I was going to talk about something else this week, but that's been canned because it's the alpha of Albion Online, and oh my gee, I wanted to talk about it. It's really fun so far, but I also think it's a very important game, so I wanted I wanted to talk to you about those things. Yes, I'm behind the times. I'm behind the curve on Albion Online. I think it's been playable in some form for at least a couple of years now. So I'm sure you're all familiar. I'm sure you're all familiar with the game from its various tie-ins with streamers, YouTubers, etc. But for those who aren't sure, a quick recap. The game itself, it's a sandbox MMO. Most of the world, or a lot of the world, is fully open PvP. Old schoolers will probably see more than a few shades of Ultima Online around it, though in my opinion this game isn't a throwback by any means. Crafting and building and farming as well are core parts of the experience. So if you're not into the murder hobo simulator open world PvP thing, there's plenty you can contribute and achieve. You know, in games like these, players who would rather not fight are extremely valuable. And really the acknowledgement that different players want different experiences is a good start. It's a good start for an MMO, but to then create links and synergy between those different styles is something that really only the very best even aspire to. And this is the crux of why I'm so infatuated with this game. So many of the principles of MMOs that have been lost by the wayside in favor of streamlining the experience. You know, those principles are present in this game with a critical eye on what makes those systems engaging rather than just trying to copy paste and make something for the nostalgia market. And the game is so self-assured in making these decisions as well. And at the same time as that, it's accessible in a way that so many sandbox games really fail to be. The difficulty curve is lovely and gentle. You know, you aren't bombarded with information, and it's this accessibility that sets the game apart, in my opinion. Other sandbox games, even really great ones like EVE Online or Darkfall would be another example. They beat you around the head with complexity immediately. You know, they seem to do it with relish too, like a teacher gleefully giving out homework on day one. And it's been a major downfall of the sandbox subgenre for a long time. So it's refreshing to feel very free to explore and experience the game right from the start. And that feeling is really, it's something you don't even realize that, you know, other games create this counterintuitive learning cliff at the start. You know, it's you don't even realize it's counterintuitive until you experience something that gets that new player experience really right. You can still easily see like these really long paths laid before you. You know, you can see to all the peaks of the different mountains of achievements that you can climb, but at the same time you're very free to meander along different routes, try your hand at different approaches, etc. And with this in mind, I'm not going to go into detail about the systems of the game. I'm certainly no expert after a couple of handfuls of hours in the game. And you can find out from plenty of sources, I'm sure. But I wanted to talk about why I think this game is important. So let's get into that. Now, the interface is extremely intuitive. The game's very easy to navigate, and it has to be because the game's designed to be played on Android as well as mouse and keyboard operating systems. Now this is incredibly exciting to me personally. I think it represents a significant leap forward in the way that MMO games can be shared between players, and it's for this reason that Albion could really go down in MMO history as being a title that dared to do something radically different and change the way we think about these games and change the way we think about how these games have to be approached. And anyone who's asking for innovation in MMOs, this is what innovation looks like. This is a massive seismic shift in the way that MMOs are even made. So keep that in mind. And that's why I think the game's so important, and why I wanted to talk about this today. But I mean, that's not. I'm not so pretentious that's the reason I'm having a blast playing it as well. Albion scratches my obsessive gathering itch like few other games have ever really managed. And honestly, playing Skyrim is impossible for me. I end up over encumbered with mountain flowers and butterfly wings before I even got to Riverwood. And it's the same in Albion. You run through and it's like every rock, every tree, the flowers, there's rabbits and foxes. Everything is ready to be collected and used. Everything that you collect has weight. Everything, it has to be moved around the world as well, and all of it is useful always, because you're making things with it, and the higher tier things need the lower tier things to be able to make. So everything's useful. Everything has degradation on it, so you always need to be repairing things and making new things, and it creates this cyclical economy. And if EVE Online has taught us anything, it's these relatively simple systems can form the bedrock for an extremely compelling multiplayer game, and one that can sustain that almost mesmerizing fascination with the world as a whole, without the need for costly bespoke content, which is really so important for the MMO medium going forward. It's the way the fashion in the medium is going, number one, but also the money just isn't there anymore to make these really big flashy bespoke content things, raids and such. It's just the numbers aren't adding up, and for a game like Albion to be able to be so accessible and introduce these systems in a way that feels easier to navigate and feels instantly satisfying without having to go through all the sort of paperwork that you have to go through in a regular sandbox is another way that I think the game could be very exciting for a while. And I mean, it's still very early days, but my overall feeling for this game in particular is extremely hopeful. Not only that Sandbox Interactive have really finally cracked that issue of accessibility in a sandbox MMO, but that they've built the game in a way that pushes the entire medium of MMOs into new spaces, and that's what you have to do to grow anything. You need to not only have new ideas or use the best of the old while keeping your eye on the new. You need to move into new spaces, move into new markets, make new people interested in this thing that so many of us are already so invested in. And ultimately, that's what's best for us as well. And I don't know whether this game is going to be, I don't know whether it'll be a huge hit, but I'm very confident it'll have no trouble in attracting a dedicated player base. But I hope it's a game that proves to be influential in the history of MMOs. I think it gets so many things right and with such confidence, while many other games and studios, even very, very old studios, people with massive amounts of experience in in the MMO industry, just seem to be really floundering, especially in this post-WoW industry, where now developers seem really confused about whether, do players want this super old school thing, or should we just forget everything that's been done before? There's all these people asking for innovation. Maybe we'll just make something entirely new as to be unrecognizable. And it feels like Albion is definitely a game that I think pitches pitches just right into that, and it really feels like they know exactly what they're doing, and it's a very confident design that I think is going to be very influential for a long time to come. So let us know what you think. There's a comment section below. You can write about why all of that is irrelevant, and if you want to do that, or you can agree. You can hit the like button if you think this is a conversation worth having, if you think the ideas and methods behind Albion are worth investigating. And you can subscribe to this channel for many many fabulous things from wonderful people, and I'll see you again really soon. Thanks. Bye!
Make sure to level up your MMO knowledge by visiting MMORPG.com, subscribing to our YouTube channel, and by following us on social media. To catch up on the week's biggest MMO news, watch our latest MMO FTW. And to see if there's a better MMO out there for you, watch one of our latest First Impressions videos. Thanks for watching.